Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at that picture right there in that background, y'all know that this story is about to be wild and crazy. That is absolute filth behind that individual's face right there, if you can even call that a face. This story is going to be hard to grasp, but it's a concept that I've been talking about this whole time that needs to change. Mom's boyfriend, having these children outside of wedlock and then putting your children around anybody and everybody. That trend has got to change. So the individual that you see on my screen is going to be the subject of the story. I'm going to say some things that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities, but the story is going to have some details that are difficult as well. So please remember that I want you guys to understand that these stories might be difficult to listen to, but I think we owe it to these children to hear their stories so we can know what happened to them in order to be able to use these as cautionary tales to prevent this from happening in the future. But that is your disclaimer, all right? A Florida mother, so Florida takes the L today as a state. A Florida mother previously charged with child neglect recently had her charges upgraded due to the extreme extent of the alleged abuse. Alexandra Ebby, I want to get her a solo shot. They look so lifeless in the eyes. They literally look like there's cardboard inside of her head as opposed to a brain. She just looks empty in the face. I'm not going to rag on her looks. I thought about doing it, but I'm like, no, let me not do it. Let me not do it. I'm going to hold off on my disparaging comments. Alexandra Ebby, E-B-E-Y, is 37 years old. Boy, that woman looked like she done had a hard damn life in the face. She don't look 37. She look a good 60 in the face. Was initially charged with child neglect with great bodily harm late in December for allegedly locking her 5-year-old daughter, baby girl, inside of a closet for 25 days. 25 days, almost an entire month. A 5-year-old girl was put through this. Please understand. According to an arrest report from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office obtained by local CBS and Fox affiliate WJAX, and this is coming from lawandcrime.com. Thank you for the article. The girl was weak and emaciated, suffering from open wounds all across her body. Sheriff's deputies originally visited the house earlier that month. They said after somebody phoned in concerns about not seeing the child in some time and fearing that she may be dead. Thank y'all for seeing something and saying something, because it probably saved this baby's life. Y'all see how that works? You realize, you use your intuition and you say, something's not right here. The least I could do is make a phone call. Everybody's got smartphones. It don't take that much effort. Make one phone call and it might have saved this baby's life. Sheriff's deputies also said that the girl had parts of her skin falling off of her body when she was removed from the home late last year. I'm going to read that part again because I think it's important to know that she lost custody, and I guess they must have gave her back custody. The girl had parts of her skin falling off her body when she was removed from the home late last year. If that wasn't bad enough. According to the sheriff's office, this individual on the left-hand side, Ebby, denied abuse was the cause of her daughter's troubles, claiming that she hurt herself from playing, so she blamed it on the daughter. The 5-year-old was transported to nearby Wolfson Children's Hospital to deal with her state of malnourishment. There, the girl allegedly told law enforcement that she had been handcuffed and tied down inside of the closet where she was allegedly forced to use a bucket as a toilet, according to the police report. 2 days later, mom's boyfriend was also arrested. Let me get this clown, this individual on my screen. Let me see if I can get his stupid looking face on my screen. Like they look like they got balled up pieces of paper inside their head. That fool on the right hand side of the screen is Kenneth Trout, Trout, 38 years old. 38 years old. And on December 23rd, 2021, Kenneth Trout was charged with 1 count of child neglect and 2 counts of aggravated child abuse, resisting arrest, and 2 drug-related crimes, according to the arrest records. Now, according to Trout's arrest record obtained by local NBC and ABC affiliate WTLV, WJXX, the girl's siblings, I guess they had other children around, said that she was severely punished when, for an example, she ate out of a peanut butter jar. And I guess that's a reason to try to murder a child because they were trying to eat. Did you not realize that babies need to eat? Maybe you stupid MFers didn't understand the value of eating, but y'all don't miss any meals? Huh? I always find that quite strange. Let an adult miss a meal for a day or two. See what your body does. And y'all would do that to a 5-year-old, a growing, young, needing nourishment 5-year-old baby. An anonymous neighbor, I'm so glad they called. An anonymous neighbor spoke with the TV station and said that her knowledge of the alleged abuse prompted several phone calls. Several phone calls. Y'all remember that lady that y'all didn't like me trying to clown that had that purple Barney the dinosaur bonnet on the top of her head? And y'all was like, y'all, you being too mean to her, Jay. She just didn't make a phone call. Well, look what a phone call did in this situation. When that lady was like, I sure wish I would have called. I wish I could have did something. You could have made a phone call like this neighbor did. Right? Made several phone calls, including the final call that led to this baby being rescued. Sickening. The neighbor said in an interview, felt helpless for them, like I couldn't do anything for them. Sound familiar? Even no matter how many calls were made, there was still no proof until they found her malnourished and almost found her too late. I could never imagine. I could never imagine. Never. I tried imagining and I could never imagine. We wanted to see the girl because nobody has seen her, and that was the tipping point. When they brought her out in the blanket, they said that she was using the bathroom or whatever. I saw her. Why they got so many typos in here? I saw her. She was in a blanket and she could barely walk. The neighbor also spoke with WJAX. You could see ribs. You could see malnutrition, patches in her hair, bites all over them. She said, speaking of the girl and her siblings. It all varies with them, honestly. All I could do is just report it. It's heartbreaking, definitely heartbreaking and overwhelming. The children have since been placed together with their grandparents. The girl was released from the hospital last Friday. Let me say this real quick, if y'all don't mind, to the grandparents. And I'm going to look in the camera and hope that they hear and see this video. If they ever get out of prison, which we're hoping that they don't, they should never see these kids again. If y'all love these kids and are going to protect these kids, these fools should never see these kids under any circumstance ever again. If they do get out of prison, all these kids need to be well beyond their grown years, need to be like in their 20s or something. That'd be the only circumstance I could see that. But I'm hoping that they give them life in prison for this. It's a game changer when you see them fully clothed, they're clean, they're happy, they're smiling, they're laughing. The long concerned neighbor told the TV station over the weekend. They're still scared, but at least they are smiling at the end of the day. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and I have 2 news videos. Let's take a look. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And if you guys would do me a favor, for those who are listening to these stories, please do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. It'll help share these stories and let more people know that we're live. So for every one person that's watching this right now, make sure you hit that thumbs up and support this, okay? Let's support these stories because we want to make sure and get them out there. Let's get it.
Charges are upgraded for a woman accused of locking her young daughter in a closet for roughly a month. 37-year-old Alexandra Eby was arrested on child neglect charges last month. Now she's also charged with aggravated child abuse, according to records. News4Jax reporter Corley Peel spoke with a neighbor close to the family who is relieved more charges are being added.
The neighbor tells me Alexandra Eby's 5-year-old daughter was released yesterday after spending weeks in the hospital following her mother's arrest. She feels now the girl and her brothers can move forward with a safe and healthy life. Aggravated child abuse. That's the charge Alexandra Eby now faces after police say she neglected her 5-year-old daughter by locking her up in a closet. A neighbor who wants to remain anonymous says she is relieved.
What do you think about these upgraded charges?
I'm hoping that they go through for the fullest extent.
According to an arrest report, DCF called police to the Westside home on December 14th. Investigators described the girl to appear weak and starving, with open wounds and skin falling off her body. Detectives spoke with the girl's 2 older brothers who also had signs of abuse and neglect.
Do y'all see this filth and nastiness? That should be a crime to live that filthy. Look at that. And I think most people understand my message. You can be poor. You don't have to be filthy. But if you're a parent, there is no excuse. Now, if you want to live with no kids and do this and live like this on your own, then by all means, do what you do. But it should be a crime to drag people and drag children into this lifestyle. That's my point. Because that's a choice. Sex is a choice, and you don't have to procreate and bring children into these messed up situations. That's inexcusable. And just because you're older, well, they don't have a lot of money and resources, Just Jay. Well, I don't give a crap. Stop having kids then. It's a very simple concept. I think it's fair. I think that's very fair. Get yourself on your feet first, then make children. That's a choice. It's not like it's a bunch of immaculate conception going on and God up in heaven is just zapping children into everybody and you didn't do nothing. You were just standing there and boom, I got a baby coming. I got a baby coming, y'all. That ain't the way it works. Now, I know some of y'all might be kind of smirking at what I said, but there are a lot of people that I've seen in my comments that literally say that. They make it seem like these people had no choice in this. They argue in the comment section of my videos, making it seem like I'm wrong for calling this out. But like I say, I want y'all to make sure and just everybody have a voice and speak on what's real. And what's real is when you bring children into this world, you had a choice.
Investigators described the girl to appear weak and starving, with open wounds and skin falling off her body. Detectives spoke with the girl's 2 older brothers who also had signs of abuse and neglect. The 5-year-old told police she was locked down with handcuffs, a belt, and rope while locked in the closet for 25 days.
I was over there the other day, and the little girl was saying that, she was worried about starving to death whenever she was going to sleep. And, she shouldn't have to worry about when her next meal's coming.
38-year-old Kenneth Trout is also charged with aggravated child abuse and neglect. Sources say he and Eby are in a relationship. The neighbor says she is grateful the children are in a safer place. The neighbor says the children are now with their grandparents. Eby and Trout are both being held in Duval County Jail.
A second arrest has been made in connection with a particularly shocking child abuse case involving one young girl being locked in a closet, police say, for weeks. The case has disturbed neighbors.
If this is what we've seen and what we know, what don't we know? And that makes me sick to my stomach.
38-year-old Kenneth Trout was booked into the Duval County Jail yesterday on child neglect and aggravated child abuse charges, according to records. The girl's mother, Alexandra Eby, has been in jail on child neglect charges since December 14th. Sources say Trout and Eby are in a relationship. News 4 Jax reporter Corley Peel is joining us live. She spoke with a woman who called the Department of Children and Families after noticing children who she feared were being mistreated. Corley.
Tom, that woman I spoke with says she called DCF several times with concerns about how the children were being treated inside that home. She says it's a relief knowing that both Trout and Eby are both inside this jail. A house filled with horror is how neighbors like Heather describe this West Side home. She asked to not show her face. Had you seen any suspicious activity at that home before?
It was just so filthy. And I always felt bad for the kids because of the filth.
Sources say Alexandra Eby and Kenneth Trout are in a relationship. They are now in jail after investigators say they locked Eby's 5-year-old daughter in a closet for 25 days. The girl told police she was tied down with handcuffs, a belt, and rope while locked in the closet. A neighbor who wants to remain anonymous says 3 other children live at the home, but seeing the 5-year-old girl was rare.
What was the biggest red flag to you?
Whenever I gave the little girl toys, and next thing I know, she got in trouble, and I did not see her for a couple weeks, and I reported it.
When DCF arrived, they described the girl to appear weak and starved with open wounds and skin falling off her body. Investigators also spoke with the girl's 2 older brothers who also had signs of abuse and neglect. They told detectives their sister was always getting into trouble and would get locked in her room or closet. One boy says he fed his sister a couple days before DCF arrived, but wasn't sure who fed her before that.
I asked the little boy one day where he went to school. And he just told me he didn't go to a school. And I said, oh, so you do virtual school? And he, of course, said, no, I don't do that either. And I'm like, okay. He said, I do homeschooling. There's no parents there every day. There's no way that those parents are homeschooling their children.
They were more like the parents, and they even expressed to me that they cooked chicken nuggets and corn dogs for their meals every night, and that's whenever they were allowed to.
With Trout and Eby in jail, neighbors feel the children are now safe from horror. Sources close to the 5-year-old girl's family tells me that she is with a family member and she is currently still in the hospital. We did do some digging and we found that Kenneth Trout has been in jail in the past for multiple charges, including aggravated battery and drugs. I did get in contact with his family today and they did not wish to comment. Reporting live, Corley Peel, Channel 4, the local station.
Okay, so of course the family decided to decline to talk. So mom got her a thug boyfriend and we're supposed to feel bad that they were in this destitute situation? No, I don't think so. They brought children into this world. This woman brought this man around her kids, and together they were abusing these children. Why do they even need to exist anymore? Give them life in prison and let the grandparents raise the kids, and those kids will grow up and become something great. That's the end of their story. They've ruined their life. They're not gonna do anything positive in life. Not now, not ever. They're almost 40 years old. 40 years old, and you're not even trying. You're not even making an attempt to do anything positive with your life. Get them out of here. That should be the end of that story. Thank God that these kids are okay. Put a prayer hands up in the chat for that. We have a positive story, positive outcome. That's something to be thankful for, okay? Thank y'all for listening with an open mind as well as an open heart. Make sure you share these stories. Thank you.